and welcome back. It is still the morning show on Loveworldplus. And we have someone very special here to talk to us about something really, that has been a concern on the minds of people. And we're talking about job creation and employment. And we have Afolabi Imoukhuede. I hope I pronounce it very well. Imoukhuede. Amazing. He is the senior special assistant to the president on job creation, but served as the head of the Empower Job Creation component of President Muhammadu Buhari's National Social Investment Program, and that is the NSIP. Now, between 2015 and 2019, prior to the national appointment, he was the pioneer CEO of MCS Consulting Limited, an accountant by profession, and he is an experienced international development consultant with sector focus on construction, real estate, and small business development. Oh my God.
It's a pleasure to have you on our program.
You're welcome to the show.
Amazing. Good to have you here, sir.
Thank you so much.
We've read a lot about you, and it's actually an honor to have you here. But tell us about your milestone as SSA to the president on youth development, job creation, and things like that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me, and good morning to all our listeners and those watching from home and all across the globe. I think the year's Senior Special Assistant to the President on Job Creation, with particular focus on youth employment or youth empowerment, whichever way we choose to define it. I think particularly it came up because in 2015, if we cast our mind back to 2015 or late 2014, when the campaigns for the presidency started, one of the summary of Mr. President's campaign at the time was ICE, insecurity, corruption, and the economy. And in the economy, particular focus on also youth. The messaging for the youth was being able to create opportunities for jobs and entrepreneurship. And so the moment the elections were fought and won and sworn in, immediately swung into action, and it was important therefore that he had someone of a senior capacity, advisor capacity within the presidency to oversight some of the how to deliver on the specific promises. Now, let's also remember it was also then that he changed the Ministry of Labor and Productivity to Ministry of Labor and Employment, which is 2 times been headed now by Dr. Christine Didi. So and across board, there are also different platforms of the government that was set up, to champion entrepreneurship. We know what has happened with ease of doing business. We know what has happened with the Investment Promotion Council, the MSME clinics that the Vice President himself chaired and took around the country as a type of a mobile campaign. So all of that are all connected onto how to make this economy work, not just for a few, but for all. Now, in my own particular space, which is youth job creation, we also realized that at the time when this government came in, of course, the digits were very high. Our unemployment rate have remained double digits. I think the last I checked, about 23%. That's the unemployment rate. But when you disaggregate that number, you find that there's a lot of pressure in the youth unemployment space. And so, at the time, as part of his response to addressing inclusivity in government, which was the National Social Investment Program, we also had a window that was carved out, which is the Empower for youth engagement. And so what we did with the Empower program, which I oversighted up until October 2019, as you read in the profile, and what we did with that Empower program at the time was to create opportunities for youth engagement. One of it was a graduate program, which we had 500,000 people apply over 2 batches, so batch 1 and batch 2, 200, 300, and then we then had another set of youths that were trained in skills for several industries: construction industry, agriculture industry, automobile industry, and hospitality industry. I mean, total about 60,000 youths have benefited from those skills to industry training. And it's not just training, it's really total package, because you train them in 3 months in center, 9 months apprenticeship. They also get their exit tools, which is basically their relevant toolkits that enables them to stand on their own or be gainfully employed wherever they go. And we also had the tech innovation hubs that a few of my other colleagues also championed, which we had one in each geopolitical zone. Again, just stimulating what you call entrepreneurship opportunities using technology as a driver. So that's what we've done in that space, really. And yeah, so that's a short answer to you.
Okay, fine. I'm tempted to ask you your comment regarding the face-off between Festus Keyamo and the Senate.
I know
about the 774,000 jobs.
Yes, maybe you could have like 2A, 1A, 1B. Really, let's tackle this 1A first.
So what is the 1A?
The 1A is the face-off between the people, especially because Nigerians have a challenge really trusting this administration. Yeah. And sadly, the face-off between the National Assembly and the Keyamo and Festus Keyamo hasn't really helped matters at all.
Yeah. Well, so I think Nigerians, we've typically had problems trusting every administration, trusting government particularly. And I think that is a lesson for us as public servants to understand that we need to end the trust of those who have entrusted us the responsibility to manage the commonwealth of the country. I think that is a general lesson that each and every public servant owes the Nigerian people. So that's one. And then that's also where perhaps the face-off comes. So when you look at the National Assembly, the question of the National Assembly is that we are the representative of we the people. Whether it's the House of Reps, that has, Senate, or the Senate, that's the upper chamber. And they're right if they say that, hey, listen, we are the ones that represent our people. They've sent us from their various communities to come up here to federal. I mean, now, individual conversations about what do you really do and all that, I mean, that's another topic entirely, but that's what it is. And so if they say we represent our people and this is something that Mr. President has announced that is actually for the lowest of the lowest, it's at a local government level really, which is why 774,000, 1,000 per local government, then we should have control over who represents or who is the beneficiary in my community. So that's on one hand. Of course, it's not Dr. Mr. Festus Keyamo, I mean SAN. He is obviously also of the opinion that, hey, I'm also here under what you call delegation of authority delegated to me by Mr. President, who also he's been sworn in to to manage the trust of the people. And so if there's anything I want to ensure meritocracy. I want to ensure that transparency. I want to ensure that accountability. Basically. So I guess my short answer therefore is this. Disagreements are bound to happen, but you should disagree to agree. And I'm sure they will disagree to agree because both parties have a point. But how then do you balance it? And I'm also speaking from experience. We've had these banters with them for many years, at least in my last 4 years, actively oversighting.
So
it's a familiar talk. So, and one of the things that is given for anyone who's going to succeed in public servant is stakeholder management. You've got to have it.
You also mentioned the NSIP, the Empire, and you also talked about the one being overseen or supervised by the Vice President himself. But during elections, the campaign period, we're hearing so much about the trader money, so much that it was so controversial that people were like, that is, you're basically buying votes, vote buying and all that. But some people are saying they've been hearing of these programs, but they are not able. You've mentioned some numbers of people that have benefited from this project, but I personally, I don't know of anyone. So to set the record straight, can you let us know more about those that have benefited, how many, and
how do they source this?
Easily seen
traceable.
or traceable?
Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, so let me ask first, which local government do you stay in Lagos? I imagine you live in Lagos or Ogun State.
Yes, I live in Lagos. My local government is Ifakoijaye.
Okay, so that's very good. Again, I know the schools are close. The closest to you would have been just walk into any public school in Ifakoijaye and ask you want to see an Empower volunteer teacher.
Okay.
With Empower, they are in public schools, all public schools. They are in primary health centers. So maybe, I know with Corona, you don't want to go to a hospital or a primary health center at this point, but just in case you find one, just ask, So they're in primary health centers and they are in the agric farms.
Okay.
So that's where we deploy the 500,000, and every state has no less than 10,000.
Why is it that most people are not aware?
No.
In fact, to corroborate what she did say, that was seen by Nigerians as a gimmick.
Well, I'm coming to answer. I've just started answering, so it was not gimmick, but I've just started answering. So again, awareness is all part of awareness, and many times again, awareness is also about how active you also want to know. Okay. Let's also understand that it's often said that the empty barrel makes the most noise. So one area that will take full responsibility is that we never made too much noise when we were conceptualizing and rolling out these programs, as it's often the norm here. And what do you hear? You hear the noise, but you don't see the substance. We focused on the substance, and the substance in itself, unfortunately, as you also know, it's given in humans that good news don't spread as fast as bad news. So that's why I'm saying now that for proactivity, and because you're also in the fifth realm, just in case you want to do your own investigative journalism, you can just walk in there, at least for Empower.
Okay.
Now, for the broad social investment program, we had four pillars. I've spoken about job creation, which is Empower, and I've just told you where they are in terms of the graduate component, the non-graduate component, or the skills to training program. Those may be a little difficult to find because you need to go into the training centers where they were trained and where they are I know just down here in Oregon here, truck masters just down here in Oregon trained, I'm sure close to about 30 at the very minimum of those in automobiles. So if you want to walk in there as well, they would give you their history. So that's the Empower program. The next under the social investment program was the school feeding program, the homegrown school feeding program.
I like that.
So the question you asked me, I can't answer. The one you were discussing before coming in. So yes, let the phone lines come. But I have the one I can answer up to. So the homegrown school feeding program that I know about was a program wherein basically it's tripartite. One was to feed the children in school, which cumulatively across maybe about 30 states as at the campaign time, which you are referencing, we had maybe about 9 million children being fed in all the public schools across about 30 states.
No, we've even left the campaign. Even now, during the lockdown, we heard that children were being fed.
So again, so perhaps because again I'm not actively oversighting, let's remember that there is a cutoff in the conversation. October 1, the president in the review of the success of the program decided to institutionalize and set up a new Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Social Disaster Management and Social Development. So that ministry is being in charge now, and they are the ones that can speak to day. So when you talk about the modified school feeding you just chatted about before my coming in, they are the ones to respond.
Okay, moving on. So you have a book written,
Yeah.
Never An Afterthought.
Yes.
What would inspire you to write a book like this?
Well, so firstly, it's a memoir, and it's a summary of my life trajectory, and I thought that it was before even coming into government, there has been quite a lot of clamor that, hey, guy, you need to write a book, you need to document your story. In the book, you would see life trajectories around how, for example, how I left medicine to go into oh wow, you've read the book. I left medicine to go go into business entrepreneurship and studied accounting.
Okay, we have a call. Okay. Sorry. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Danjuma and I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, Danjuma, what is your contribution?
It's also a pleasure to actually see that he is here, and based on what is going on, good day, sir.
Good day. Danjuma.
Yes, sir. It's nice to actually see you on our show. So I just wanted to ask, this period has been really, really toxic and terrible for us, especially for us youths. So how can you help us to get more jobs? How can you help us create jobs? A lot of jobs are being shut down now. My brother lost his own job, and me myself, I'm struggling with to meet up with my job because things are still on lockdown based on the federal government. How can we make money? How can you help us?
Thank you, Danjuma, and you have asked a very, very real, vital question. And firstly, let me empathize with every one of us because I'm not left out of the whole issues also going on. I mean, every home is touched, and it's also beyond the walls of Nigeria. It's a global issue. Now, however, let me, as it's often said as well, that there are always opportunities in challenges. So the first thing to say, it's not the easiest of answers, and perhaps not the answer you also want to hear. But the first thing to say is that we need to all look inwards and see what is the opportunity we can all get from this. One that I can pinpoint easily is that knowledge has become democratized through digital. So you now find even institutions like the Harvards of this world that are very aspirational.
Please, we do have another call. Please hold that thought. Hello? Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Chioma.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right,
please, yes.
Television, so that we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. Now, I want to do first of all, I want to thank, I think that is the SA to the Vice President on it.
Just go ahead.
We can hear you.
Okay. First of all, thank you for Empower. It's been a very laudable program.
Thank you.
But I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
People will be relieved from the program very soon. What is the exit package you have there?
Okay.
Please, I'd like to know.
Okay, thank you. So let me continue with Danjuma's question. I didn't get your name, but we'll come to it. So let's continue with Danjuma's question. So I think the first thing is knowledge is democratized. And there's a whole world of opportunities now for you to learn what you probably have to pay top dollars for. Like in Harvard now, they have a lot of courses you can do. So I think let us ensure, especially as young people, you grab as much as you can grab with this democratized world now with knowledge. That's one. Secondly is the fact that we also need to all look more entrepreneurial. You'll find now that even basic opportunities like what's it called, hand sanitizers, being able to create hand sanitizers. And meanwhile, these are usually topics that are trained in basic empowerment courses that a lot of goodwill people normally roll out. I mean, I was surprised to hear from a friend last week that Pepsi, now also has their own, a whole Pepsi Cola, they also have their own line of hand sanitizers and things like that. So if companies themselves are changing big companies are changing their manufacturing line and adopting and adapting, I think for us as well, let's also look at what opportunities we can create, particularly with our hands. And then again, digital skills. We've often said that digital skills are critical. Now the world is becoming a new normal. So you find, that digital skills is going to continue.
Sorry, we have a call. Someone from Nasarawa is trying to reach us.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Sunday from Nasarawa.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say something about this Memoir. I think it's something good for us in Nigeria. But looking at what happened at the past, the paid youths that were not even doing anything. But I want it to be at this time, jobs will be created. Even myself, I lost my job as I enrolled for this present one. I think it would be good if as a youth you earn something, you'll be able to work also, because to work will build you. So I want to thank you all for this program. I'm very happy to have this on Love World. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's what I want.
Yes, thank you so much.
Also, sorry, can I please?
You can go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. If there are job opportunities that can be created, we have ideas to build a lot of jobs also, just in case these ideas. They should create a platform where we can submit ideas and we'll be able to help the government also for new jobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So before this last caller call from Nasarawa, the other caller did ask, what is the end package for those who are about to leave the Empower?
Yeah, that's exit for Empower.
Yes.
Okay, so again, I can't speak specifically to that because you will be the new ministry to speak to that. So I wouldn't want to. Yes, we did have handovers, and so I wouldn't want to speak on what I had handed over now and the new ministry is oversighting. But from what I've read from communications from the minister and our team to the Empower volunteers, is that they would inform of what their exit package would be. But let me reiterate something I've always said from the beginning of the program, and that's one. And I've always said that you need to count backwards. So you should count from for those who are in the program 24 months, for example, this month in July for the batch 2, I've always said count backwards, 24, 23 to now to 1. And so you therefore know that for every stipend you are earning, to also comment on what Colin said from Nasarawa, Empower is a stipend to earn and not to steal. Okay. So you work, so basically Empower is a learn, hence each one got a tablet, and beyond the tablet they also have learning materials on their portal for those who didn't have tablets, like the batch 2, that their tablets have not yet been concluded, but for the batch 1 that had tablets, so the learning was for you to be continuous. Then you also work, which is why the states deploy you, because we partnered with the state and local government, and they deploy you to your places of primary assignment to work. And then you earn the stipend, which again was never paid through a third party, was paid directly to them. When you were talking about transparency, that's how we built the program. So every beneficiary got his or her money directly. So that's what the program is for. And then there were obviously in the system, we know that there will be deviants. Out of every 12 you expect maybe one deviant. So there was a place for suspension. There was a place for their supervisors to
my
report
producer
them
is on my neck that we need to go. Time has been lost. And we want to say thank you to everyone who called us on the show today to speak to the senior special assistant to the President Muhammadu Buhari. But you can send your questions on our King's Chat page, and you can send your questions to us via SMS, and we will get your questions directly to him. Sorry, we cannot take your call at this time. And so we are sure to bring you back. The calls are jamming seriously. People have so much to say.
What affects everyone.
Has affected everyone. And they seeing you on said today, they want to ask you what is going on.
They want to have all of you.
They want to have
That's
all
what
of
they're
you.
asking about
But like we
politics
promised,
and
we are going to bring him back on this morning show here in Loveworldplus. But remember to, download the Live TV app as you stay connected and stay glued to us here on Loveworldplus Monday to Monday. Do not forget the quiz on Saturday. You've got to stay connected so that you can win Loveworldplus branded products. Till we see you again next time. My name is Sylvia Chikudima and
My name is Shegun Adebo Wale.
Ito Hanolomo Agwedo.
God bless you. Have a wonderful morning.
We'll see you tomorrow.
I can